Hey guys, Miss Parnell here for a little pre-start of school art video. The purpose of this video is to kind of get you organized for your virtual art lessons with supplies that will help you have an easier time with art class if you kind of get it all together. So if you need to collect some art supplies, you need somewhere to put them where you can move it easily, get it out of the way, and pull it out when it's time for art class. So the first thing that you're gonna need is some type of bin or box. I have several of these in my art room that I've picked up from Target. So you could use something like this, but you don't need to go out and buy something new to store your art supplies. If you're anything like my family, you guys have probably been getting a lot of deliveries. So you just need to find a box that's not too giant, and don't break it down all the way. You just kind of tuck in the top pieces, and it gives you a nice sturdy box to keep your art supplies in, okay? So the first thing that you're gonna wanna place in here is paper. Now, you want just white paper. You don't want it to be too thin, because if it's too thin, if it gets wet, it can tear. So you can use computer paper, you can go buy some white cardstock or drawing paper, and all of these things that I'm showing you today could be picked up from Target or Walmart, ordered from Amazon, or you can go to Michael's or Joann's or Jerry's Artorama for a lot of this stuff. So I'm gonna place my paper, my drawing paper, into my art bin. Another option for drawing paper is to actually get a sketchbook. A sketchbook is nice because you can just keep your art inside and it keeps it protected, and then your artwork's not floating all over your house and getting lost. So sketchbooks come in lots of different sizes. I would suggest the 9x12, but you can get bigger if you want, and you could get a little smaller if you wanted, but 9x12 is usually a good size for this. So I'm gonna put my sketchbook inside of my art kit. So now that we have paper, we need some mark making tools. So with our basics, pencils, which are part of your normal school supply list. If you have regular pencils, make sure you have some type of pencil sharpener. Or you can also use mechanical pencils. So I'm going to put those in my art bin. In fact, I found this little cup that I'm going to use to put my pencils in so that I don't lose them, and I'm going to place that inside of my art bin. Next basic kind of art material that we will be using a lot is crayons. We have tons of crayons at my house, and none of the crayon boxes ever survive. I am definitely a huge supporter of Crayola crayons. They are the best ones. Please try to get Crayola crayons if you can. It doesn't even matter if it's the small pack of 12 or 16 colors. Crayola is the way to go. So I'm actually gonna put these crayons inside my little cup that I have here. Okay, and put that in there. You could also use some type of pencil carrier to keep your pencils and crayons in. You could even use a Ziploc bag, but it's nice to have them all contained in one place and then place that inside of your art kit. Next, markers. In my art class, we use the Mr. Sketch markers that smell so great, but what I have learned is that the Crayola markers work best when we do the marker painting, where we add water to our marker drawings. So if you enjoy marker painting or think that's something you're interested in, you might want to try for the Crayola brand as opposed to Mr. Sketch, but either way, doesn't really matter. Markers, they're going into my bin. Next on the list is colored pencils. Doesn't matter what kind of brand or how many you get, but colored pencils are nice to use. I don't use them a lot, so this is not a must, but if you're interested in details and coloring in little spaces, that's what the colored pencils are good for. And usually these Crayola boxes come with a nice little sharpener on the back, which is always nice. Next is oil pastels. These are one of my favorite art supplies. They're kind of messy, but they're super fun for mixing and blending colors. They're really nice for mixed media artworks. That's when you use different types of materials like paint and oil pastels or crayons and colored pencils together. It doesn't matter what brand oil pastels you get. I just prefer the Crayola 28 pack because they're nice and bright and they're just perfect for the elementary art classroom. So these are going in my bin. Next is a watercolor kit, and there are a lot of brands for watercolor kits. What I use in our art room is Prang. It's a little more expensive, but the colors are very vibrant, and it really helps the art look so beautiful. So if you can get Prang, please do. Otherwise, Crayola is pretty good. You can see that this one is well loved. And the good thing about most of these art kits is that they do come with a paintbrush, so it's not something that you'd have to buy separate. So my watercolor kit is going in there. When you do paint, you're gonna need a water cup. So we have just a dedicated painting cup at my house that you can place into your art bin, or that can just be something that you get as needed. Something else, glue. This is also part of your regular school supply list. We will be using a lot of glue, as we will be using cardboard for a lot of found object artworks. Speaking of cardboard, we already reused a box to keep our art supplies in. Another thing that we will be using cardboard for is painting on and cutting up and creating sculptures. So if you get a box, ask an adult in your house to use some bigger scissors, such as these, to cut down the box for you, so that this is like a nice canvas to paint on, and it can also be nice to build some type of cool sculpture with down the line. Speaking of scissors, part of your regular back to school supply list is some school scissors. I'm going to place these inside of my art bin. My kitchen scissors are going back into the kitchen where they belong, not in my art bin. Any other cool things you find around your house that you think you can make artwork out of? We have been collecting popsicle sticks. After we enjoy a delicious treat, we rinse the popsicle sticks, let them dry, and collect them to make fun things out of. These are going in my art kit. Let's see, and Sharpies. I love Sharpies in my art classroom. These are permanent black markers. The fine tip and the ultra fine tip are both markers that we use all the time in my class. So if you can get a Sharpie, please do. Ultra fine and fine if you can, and those are going in there. So this is what we have for the art year. I hope to see you guys soon, and I can't wait to see all the really cool stuff we're gonna make together. Bye.